On August 8, I was surprised and dismayed to receive hateful tweets from an anonymous Twitter account just before my press conference to announce my investigation into police de-escalation training in the wake of the Toronto police shooting of Sami Yatin. The tweets included a number of slurs and an accusation that I was a member of a terrorist group, Al-Qaeda. But what was truly alarming was that they originated from an account registered in the name of a Durham Regional Police Service detective, including his badge number. I immediately brought this to the attention of the Durham Police, and they began an internal investigation. On August 28, 2 members of the Durham Police Professional Standards Unit visited my office and informed my senior staff that based on the evidence they gathered, they had concluded the account was created by another officer, a supervisor of the officer whose name was on the account. They advised us that the perpetrator would be charged under the disciplinary provisions of the Police Services Act. His name would not be released until his first appearance on this matter on October 1st, if at all. However, this week, the detective responsible for the tweets reached out to me to arrange a meeting. I met with him yesterday. He apologized unconditionally for his actions and told me he regrets posting those tweets. I believe his apology to be heartfelt and sincere, and I'm happy to accept it. In the interest of transparency, the officer also understood that I would be making his name public. His name is Detective Jeff Kaplan. He is a member of the Durham Police Major Fraud Unit. Well, I'm pleased to consider the situation resolved from my end. It is unfortunate that such an incident, one officer destructively impersonating another one online, could happen in any police service. I'm a strong proponent of good policing, but no one should tolerate situations of police abuse. And this case is no exception. I'm happy to take your questions.
Even though the situation is resolved, how disheartening is it for you that this had to happen in the first place?
It was a shock to see this happen. It's unfathomable to think that this could happen from a police station. Police services are not supposed to be run like National Lampoon's Animal House. It's not a frat house. And I think that the buck stops with the chief of police of the Durham Regional Police Service. And he's run this investigation in a cloak and dagger fashion, mired in secrecy. This has been a stealth investigation, and it has not served the interests of the officer. When the police chief appeared before the police services board this week, he talked about the identity of the hate tweeter may never be known because A, he may resign, B, there may be some kind of a settlement, or C, there may be a motion to keep his name secret at the hearing. And I met with Detective Kaplan yesterday and his lawyer, and they were out of the loop on that. There was never any intention to keep his identity secret. So you have to wonder whose interest is being served by keeping the identity of this hate Twitterer secret. And it appears obvious to me that it's the image of the Durham Regional Police Service that has the most to win by keeping the secrecy. And I think the idea, well, he may resign. This is wishful thinking, right? I mean, he could just resign, disappear, and you never know who the identity or who this was or the context. So I don't think that it served the interest of Detective Jeff Kaplan to keep his name secret.
Did Detective Kaplan speak about his motives behind the tweets, why he decided to send them out?
He said he was undergoing personal hardship at the time, and he was following the media coverage of the Yatim shooting, and the circumstances got the best of him, or the worst of him, and that he basically had a impulsive moment where he tweeted it. And he accepted full responsibility. His words were, "I will be falling on my sword. You will be pleading guilty to the offense."
Did he say why he impersonated another fellow police officer in doing this, or what overcame him to do something like that?
From what I gather, it started off as a prank against another officer. And the prank got around the office, and many people were following these pranks were other police officers. And it kind of got out of hand. And then suddenly he switched his ID to Joe Mayo to then go after me. So that's basically it. We had a 40-minute conversation where it started off by me asking him, my first question to you is, what possessed you? Because what would possess a senior police officer of the distinguished service that he has to embark on that trail? And he basically he made a mistake, and he was very clear. Although he showed up with a lawyer, his lawyer let him answer all the questions. There was no question that it was objected to, opposed to, and I was told this was an unconditional apology. And basically, it was very impressive to see.
Can you elaborate on what he said about the way Durham police handled this? You mentioned in a tweet that he said he really didn't have anything to do with it. So was he talking about the way they handled it, or was he talking about something else?
He wasn't asking for anonymity. I mean, when you look at it, it looks like he was behind all of that. The Durham Regional Police are conducting their investigation. They're not keeping us in the loop at all. He was able to tell us yesterday that as of this week, they were still interviewing witnesses on this case. No one told me that. I mean, I'm getting my disclosure. I mean, I'm the victim here, and I'm getting disclosure from the accused as to where the investigation's going. It's very strange way to conduct an investigation. Like I said, this is a stealth investigation that served nobody. And if you look at the chief's statement, it keeps referring to a thorough professional investigation. And it almost looks like there's some slick gumshoe work that went into this investigation. Well, Detective Jeff Kaplan told me he confessed. So there you go.
Mr. Moran, you're used to attacks. I mean, your job by nature will receive criticism from people, right? What was it about this particular case that irked you more than usual, perhaps?
Well, being called a carded member of Al Qaeda, and I started off by saying yesterday morning he just requested the interview late in the afternoon the day before. So I said, I'll make room for you the next morning. And when I showed up, we started the conversation yesterday morning. I said to him, oh, it's a good thing Al Qaeda gave me the morning off so I can meet with you. Al Qaeda is the most notable terrorist group in the world, so it's hardly a compliment to be called that. And then all types of other slurs and bigoted tweets. And then when I learned it was a police officer, it's not some random rogue troll. He is a senior police officer in the major fraud section. So when you add all that together, it's a pretty serious set of circumstances. And I think that the Durham Regional Police leadership, meaning the chief and the immediate chain of command below him, were irked that I would make this public. They were irked, and but the publicity forced them to do something about it. But they think, there's no doubt in my mind that they would have preferred to just brush this one under the carpet, and they were even hopeful to do so as late as this week until I met with Detective Jeff Kaplan. You have some question back?
He had very strong suspicions or belief that when you say under the carpet, that they would have likely gone the route of a settlement and his name not be publicized.
Yes. There were suggestions by the chief of police to the board that we may never know his name, a practice which is out of sync with many other police services in Ontario that do publish the name.
Question, why would he wait until meeting the victim, so to speak, in this case before allowing his name to be revealed? He is known quote unquote, that he was going to fall on his sword for quite some time. And he waits for the victim to come forward and name him. He could have named himself a lot earlier.
You're quite right. I just got the impression that he wanted an opportunity to apologize in person.
Right.
And quite frankly, it puts him in a bit of an awkward situation because he's being investigated by the police. I think the police ought to have released his name in the interest of transparency. Yes.
Do you think he has apologized? Do you think, are you a little surprised that the force still has not apologized to you? And are you still waiting for an apology from the force?
I am. I think that the police service, the Durham Regional Police Service, owes an apology to its community and to me for how it's behaved. By their actions, they have lowered the confidence in how that place is being run. And that apology is not forthcoming. But as I said, I think the police were irritated that I just simply didn't pick up the phone and call the chief and kept it all hush-hush. They were forced by the media coverage to actually do something, even though they, at the end of the day, were trying to mitigate the exposure by keeping the names under wrap and hoping perhaps that he would resign or do something and make it all go away. Zap. It didn't happen.
The Twitter account before it was Durham seemed to paint a picture of an officer who wasn't working very hard. It seemed a very cruel account of somebody's day. It seemed to make me fun of them. You're saying now it was followed by other officers. It was by his supervisor. What does that tell you about the culture of the police force there?
It's a dysfunctional environment at the Durham Regional Police Service. Like I said, it's, this shouldn't be run like Animal House. All these gags that are happening and it becoming a way for a supervisor to bully one of his officers. That's why I think that we need to have some account from the police chief. Where does the buck stop in the police service? It stops with the chief. That's where the ultimate accountability lies. Is this normal at Durham? I don't know. I don't think I would expect police services to be run like that, but we have yet to know whether this is the way it works at the Durham Regional Police Service workplace. Yes.
Have you got any evidence or any feedback that there were earlier incidents involving this officer and his department, his squad?
Which officer?
Kaplan.
No, I mean, if you Google him, just as I've done, you'll see that he's an award-winning detective. He works hard. Maybe there's a burnout issue there. I don't know. I've been told that he's very well respected as well by his lawyer, by his peers. And certainly, when he showed up yesterday, he looked very uneasy and very contrite. And it was disarming to see him falling on his sword and having the guts to come here and face me and apologize. So, I harbor no ill feelings towards Detective Jeff Kaplan. In fact, he's the kind of guy that you'd want to go have a beer with, and chit chat, but that won't happen for the next little while, I'm sure.
How is the investigation that you're conducting related to the San Mateo shooting going? How has that progressed?
It's progressing well. We've had a tremendous amount of input. We've had almost 200 submissions from other police services, police officers who specialize in use of force, police services from around the world. So it's going very well. And of course, we're looking at whether the province should impose province-wide standards for de-escalating conflict, which is in place in British Columbia, for example, since the Kensky tasering affair. And so our work is independent of whatever charges are out there, whatever the police chief is doing.
The province moved ahead with allowing police forces to decide whether they wanted to use tasers, and they did that saying, we've been consulting for a very long time. They did not wait for your report. So what do you think about their decision to go ahead with that?
It's going to be part of our investigation, so I'm not commenting on that for now. One final question?
Have you given any thought of looking into Durham Regional Police and their, conduct as a result of this case?
I don't oversee the police directly. I oversee the SIU and the provincial government. but I don't have a direct oversight function towards municipal police services.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.